This is Danish-InfoNews TV, your latest Danish English news. Welcome to Danish-InfoNews TV, your source for the latest headlines and breaking stories from Denmark. From crime and justice to business and society, we bring you the news that matters, straight to the point. Later in the broadcast, we will be looking at scammers tricking women into sending nude photos on Instagram. We'll also look at two men convicted of self-laundering in the first case of its kind. We will also look at a man charged with sexual abuse of his 9-year-old daughter. We begin on Tuesday, September 2nd. There is a record number of inquiries from abused women at Danner in June. The counseling service for abused women at the organization Danner received the highest number of inquiries ever in June, reports DR. According to Danner's director, Mette Yle, this is a reaction to this year's rising number of partner killings. So far, there have been 15 femicides this year, more than double the total number in all of 2024. In a different story, 29-year-old convicted of burglary, drug driving, and car theft. A 29-year-old man has been sentenced at the court in Kolding to 5 months of unconditional prison and 10 years of unconditional loss of his driving license for, among other things, violating the knife law, burglary, drug driving, and car theft, according to Southeast Jutland Police. Now to news on Wednesday, September 3rd. Suspect jailed for ordering 4 murders in Pakistan. Another suspect in a case about ordering the killings of 4 people in Pakistan has been remanded in custody by the court in Glostrup. According to Copenhagen Western District Police, the new suspect is a 41-year-old man from Albertslund. The first detention in the case was made on August 1st. In a different case, 57-year-old man admits rape and attempted murder of 11-year-old. A 57-year-old man admits in the court of Nykøbing Falster to rape and attempted murder of an 11-year-old girl on a beach in Bøtø in August 1999. In another case, 22-year-old sentenced for severe violence against ex-girlfriend. The High Court of Western Denmark sentenced 22-year-old man to 6 years in prison for severe physical and psychological violence against his then-girlfriend, a former Danish reality participant. He was also convicted of threats and aggravated weapons possession. The High Court largely upheld a similar ruling from the District Court in Aarhus last year against Adnan Nadal Kawaj. Now to another story. Treasurer transferred 1 million krona from sports club to help son. A 61-year-old woman misused her position as treasurer in a sports club, transferring nearly 1 million krona to private accounts to help her son. She received 1 year in prison, of which 30 days are unconditional. Her son was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for a drug case and also convicted of aggravating handling of stolen goods for receiving the money, according to East Jutland Police. In a different case, at Copenhagen, 22-year-old sentenced to custody for fatal assault at Central Station. The Copenhagen City Court sentenced a 22-year-old man to indefinite custody for a fatal assault at Central Station. A 21-year-old accomplice received 7 years in prison. Now to a different case. A man stabbed in the neck in Sydhavnen. A 41-year-old man was stabbed in the neck Wednesday evening in Sydhavnen, according to Copenhagen Police. He was stable when taken to Rigshospitalet. There has been no arrests yet in the case. To another case in Copenhagen. 38-year-old stabbed in Ballerup. A 38-year-old man was stabbed Wednesday evening on Ballerupvej in Ballerup. His condition is unknown, but his injuries are considered serious, reports Copenhagen West District Police. To a different report, sharp rise in charges for possession of laughing gas. There has been a dramatic increase in charges for possession of nitrous oxide in recent years. After new rules in 2023 made it illegal to possess nitrous oxide in public, There were 168 charges that year. In 2024, charges exploded to over 1,100. Almost 900 charges have already been made in the first 8 months of this year. New sex campaign reaches 250,000 youth. In a new project from Sex and Samfund supported by Nordea Foundation with almost 10 million krona over 3 years. It is meant to strengthen knowledge about safe and healthy sex among 250,000 students nationwide between July 2025 and June 2028. 38-year-old charged with abducting his children from their mother. 38-year-old man will appear in court in Koling for allegedly taking his children abroad against their mother's custody rights. The hearing is expected to be held behind closed doors. Now to retail. Drop taxes will cost border shops. According to Retail News, border shops will lose 400 million krona when the government removes taxes on candy and coffee. Now to news from Thursday, September 4th. String of youths assaulted in 90 minutes. In just 90 minutes, 4 young people were attacked in Turna, an 18-year-old woman, 2 17-year-olds, and a 21-year-old man. Police suspect the same group is behind the assaults. In another case, 2 craftsmen convicted in money laundering case. 2 men, 42 and 46, were sentenced to 15 months of suspended prison and 200 hours of community service, each for self-laundering and VAT. Fraud using fake invoices. This is the first of 4 test cases brought by the National Unit for Special Crime. To a different crime, 36-year-old convicted of rape at Folk High School. A man from Silkeborg has been sentenced to 18 months in prison for raping a woman at Folk High School, reports Southeast Jutland Police. To a different case, 3 injured in traffic accident. 3 people were injured in a traffic accident in the Djursland. 1 critically, reports East Jutland Police. In a case from Copenhagen, 30-year-old sentenced to life for execution-style killing in public. A 30-year-old man confessed to shooting and killing a 43-year-old man and injuring a bystander in Nørrebro in August 2024. He received a life sentence and did not appeal. To a different kind of crime, 2 men convicted of self-laundering in first case of its kind. For the first time, prosecutors have convicted buyers of fake invoices for self-laundering. The 2 men laundered around 3 million through their machinery company between 2019 and 2020. Each was sentenced to 15 months of suspended prison, 200 hours of community service, and fined over 585,000 krona. 7-Eleven opens hospital store. 7-Eleven opened a hospital shop at Bispebjerg Hospital in Copenhagen. A mobile kiosk will also serve psychiatric wards at Bispebjerg, Frederiksberg and Gentofte hospitals. Back to crime. Police find cannabis lab in raid. During a raid in Rødding, South Jutland Police and Emergency Services discovered a cannabis laboratory. They had been working on the site till late night. To today's news, Friday, September 5th. We'll start with one of our main stories. Scammers tricked women into sending nude photos on Instagram. Young Danish women have been targeted by scammers posing as modeling agencies on Instagram and asking for age, body measurements, and nude photos. Agencies including Lee Management, Elite Models, and MIG Models have warned against the scam. To a different story. 15 kilos of cocaine found in a car. 2 arrested. 2 Danish men, 37 and 42, were arrested after police found 15 kilos of cocaine in their car on Frederiksberg. To our mentioned story, 42-year-old man charged with sexual abuse of 9-year-old daughter. A 42-year-old man is charged with sexually abusing his 9-year-old daughter in Ranas in June. The case will be heard behind closed doors at the court in Aarhus. Now to some business news. Number of forced auctions heading for a record low. Only 85 properties were put up for forced auction in August, the lowest ever recorded, according to Statistics Denmark. Fewer homes for sale nationwide. As of September, there are fewer houses, apartments, and summer houses for sale nationwide compared to the previous month. According to Ballerup, companies want employees back in the office. 25% of companies plan to reduce remote work, according to a survey by consulting firm Ballerup. For example, Nørrebro reduced home office days from 2 to 1 per week earlier this year. That wraps up today's update from Danish-InfoNews TV. Stay informed, stay ahead, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the latest news from Denmark.